interest rate. Now, if you see the debt level which most of the G7 countries are having with respect to their GDP, I think most of them have crossed 100%. US is close to 30% of its GDP. So every G7 countries are borrowing heavily, and the expectation is that in future also they are going to borrow drastically. Now, why do I track bond market? So it's a great saying that the bond market are the biggest and the best economic forecaster. Now, what are the bond yields are telling us? That despite all the central banks cutting interest rate from last 6 to 8 months, 10-year yield, 30-year yield, 40-year yield of most of the countries are trading higher. So for example, 30-year yield of Britain is trading at 27-year high. So the bond yields are rising despite rate cut from global central banks. Now let us see what does our 10-year yield is telling us a story. Basically, if you see the chart, there is a clear-cut divergence. Despite RBI cutting interest rate, our Indian 10-year bond yield is going up. It is an indication. It is telling us a story that interest rates are not going to come down drastically from this level. Instead, we are anticipating that the interest rate after 3 months is going to start towards upward trajectory. So basically, we are bullish on interest rate. Now, when we are bullish on interest rate, how or what action as a treasury manager, as a CFO, or as an owner we should take? So the first aspect is that in borrowing, move from floating interest rates to fixed interest rate. While in investing, invest in short-term fixed deposit. Do not invest for 1 year, 2 year, 5-year fixed deposit, as we are at the lower end of interest rate trajectory. Interest rate is supposed to move higher. And if you are investing in debt mutual fund, ideally you should avoid long duration debt funds. One last request with respect to interest rate is that in your sanction letter, if you read the sanction letter carefully, in the sanction letter, the bank says that resetting of interest rate every 3 months. You can request the bank that please reset the interest rate instead of 3 months to yearly. As the interest rate is going to go higher, it is going to help us to save some kind of money.